Before I begin, I'm going to do something I always do on occasions like this, just so that my membership know that I don't spend my time sitting about at Portland Place. Just 1 second, please. So the RIBA is a global professional body for the advancement of architecture. It was wonderful to be here earlier on and to hear the session preceding this on, thank you very much, on happiness. Talking about trust, collaboration, engagement, public realm, and human interaction. I'm going to be talking about some of those things a little bit more later on, as are other members of our team. That lovely building behind you is our headquarters in London, in Portland Place. Hands up who have been there. The membership now stands at about 43,000. We have 4 million artifacts in our collection. That is the largest in the world. We have a £25 million turnover, 300 staff, and we have the best quality print journal in the world, or so we think. Anyway, and certainly one of the most prestigious award scheme, and I'm going to be drawing on that a bit later. So for us, our international brand is very much about creating a better context for architectural practice, and that's really what I'm going to be talking about just now. And I'm joined here by quite a team from the RIBA. Nicholas Speniak, Dale Meredith, Chris Williamson, Adrian Dobson, Alistair Dixon are all going to be talking to you later on. So, Vitruvius, commodity, firmness, and delight. But we've somewhat moved away from the idea that those qualities are there only for the enjoyment of the elite. I'm going to quote the president of the Indian Institute of Architects on this World Architecture Day. He says, "Today reminds us of our shared responsibility of bringing happiness into the lives of people at the bottom of the pyramid through innovation in architecture." Who could possibly have put it better? So when we talk about commodity and firmness, we're really talking about quality outcomes from the built environment that adds value to people's lives. And our role in making judgments which are based on value and not just on capital cost. So for us, it's very much a question of leadership in that arena. And this is a photograph of me with the 4 other presidents of the institutes in the United Kingdom and Southern Ireland. And we've just issued a statement to our members, 60,000 or so members in the UK, about the importance of placing public interest at the heart of all we do, about our obligation to manage our clients' risk on their behalf, and also to ratchet up standards of practice and standards of education leading to practice. The importance of fostering a diversity in our workforce that reflects the diversity of the populations amongst whom we work. What a relevant issue that is in such a wonderfully multicultural place as Dubai. The importance of researching and aggregating and promoting and combining efforts in research in order to provide the people in the built environment, responsible for the built environment, and the architects in it with data, information to enable them to improve their offer. And generally, and I'll come back to this in a bit later, to help in the task of saving the planet. Are we always successful? Clearly not. As we enter the public inquiry on the tragedy at Grenfell Tower, where 72 people died in fear and pain, and a neighborhood, a community, the city, and the whole nation completely traumatized by the impact of that awful event. We think we have a shared responsibility, amongst others in those who deliver the built environment, to create a lasting legacy. And those bullet points there, those are points that we've been arguing for many years. simplifying the bureaucracy of compliance, improving on the management of buildings in use, improving on poor procurement standards, in particular, building in value into the process, properly supervising the work, and listening to the concerns of the residents, who, in this case, appear not to have been taken account of properly. All of those things we've been campaigning on for many years, and if there was to be any legacy of the terrible tragedy that took place in West London, it would be changes that would make issues improved in all of those areas. This woman is Jane Duncan. She's my predecessor. The day after the fire, she was on the case and she was communicating to our profession and to the world at large what must be done in order to make sure this never happens again. And in due course, as we insisted there should be, there was a review by Dame Judith Hackett, and it is going to transform the landscape of development, at least in the United Kingdom, but we think there are lessons for all of us. And at the RIBA, we said we need to go further, and we need to immediately prescribe some forms of cladding, and we need to reconsider the implications of staying put in buildings which are on fire. And I'm extremely pleased to hear on my way here to Dubai that James Brokenshire, our Secretary of State, has just this week, will be announcing at the Tory Party conference, banned the use of flammable materials in cladding systems. So we, in our pursuit of high standards of ethical professionalism, are in the business at the RIBA of creating an envelope for everybody to work within. We are signatories, importantly, of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, but we are involved in many other initiatives as well about abusive labour practices, about creating the circumstances by means of which we can practice ethically more easily. We have a commission on that, Commission on Sustainable Development and Ethics, and in due course we'll be revising and upgrading our code of conduct, hopefully alongside those of our sister professions, in order to make it more possible for the professions to advise society on how best to go about the business of creating well-being for people in the built environment. We're involved in many other initiatives too. All of these initiatives are importantly collaborative ones, and I'll just highlight one or two of these. Spinning the golden thread of quality, making sure that in our procurement processes when we build, we don't lose an understanding of what it is in the design that's going to make this place suitable for people to live in, safe for people to be in, and a great place to be for the long term. So now I'm just going to move to a number of the award-winning projects that we think represent the best what we're capable of doing, and just to highlight some of the points from these winners of the Sterling Prizes. Creating, in this case, great places to live. This is Accordia by Field and Clay Bradley with McQueen Lavington and Alison Brooks. A real exemplar in community engagement about the use of landscape and amenity to create a very high quality public realm, a mixed neighbourhood which is tenure blind, so you can't tell what kind of lease or ownership individual residents have, and housing design which is all about space, light and air, and the designer's ingenuity to contribute to well-being of their occupants. This is the Leadenhall building. The point I'd like to make about this is that it's not just